I did remember this episode, but mainly Mr. Gar being the obstacle that the main characters are trying to avoid when it comes to them getting fired, and the fact that Mr. Gar is the type of character that KO looks up the most, especially since that he was one of the most important heroes in the show's world building. But at the same time, judging the fact that he's the character who has a crush on KO's mother, I can't take him seriously like I did back then, considering of how awkward it is if you're in KO's position of someone else who is similar to Mr. Gar but has a crush on your mother. This episode may have had the lesson of showcasing that you shouldn't go inside the office or anything when it comes to the boss's personal belongings to where you'll get extreme punishments. But at the same time, judging of how the series progressed, Mr. Gar isn't the type of boss that I honestly thought he was. The premise is that when Mr. Gar is away in a short period of time, KO in the game witnessed prized possessions just to know him better, but once they destroyed a picture of KO's mother during her glory days, they're in panic, especially since that Mr. Gar has come back and he's about to witness what really happened to his prized possession, and Enid and Glad do everything to stall while KO tries to get the same picture of her mother when it comes to the glory days, but at the same time, she's past her prime. Compared to the last episodes, this episode actually got me invested, mainly in the fact that the stakes themselves is a lot more serious, because this is something that can happen in the real world if you have a boss like Mr. Gar. He would probably do something really intimidating and really powerful when it comes to punishment if he finds out something bad happened to his personal belongings. And with one of his personal belongings being his prized possession of a picture of KO during the glory days, when KO said, "I want you to be young and hot again," honestly, it's really truthful that when you're in your 20s and possibly early 30s, your attractiveness is what makes you stand out the most if you're like KO, and then when you're in your 40s, it's difficult to express attractiveness compared to your youthfulness in your 20s and possibly early 30s, just way early 30s. But I'm not gonna lie, this episode, what got me invested the most, really made me understand Gar's character, since if he was really aggressive and really controlling when it comes to his anger ability, then I'm pretty sure that he would have been bland, because when it comes to characters having tempo issues, I mostly had an issue with, but with the exceptions like Gar, it's honestly surprising to think that when he has a soft spot, I'm honestly looking forward to seeing what he contributes when it comes to his episodes with KO by his side. Granted, he's mostly doing all this for the sake of getting closer to KO, but what else can he actually do? Henry Danger has way been inappropriate towards Henry's mother, despite the fact that Henry's mother is married, but at the same time, there's literally no other option for a male character having the hots towards a female character who is a mother in any other scenario other than hiring KO to work at the bodega with Enid and Rad. I really feel like that the scenes involving Enid and Rad starring in order for KO to get a replacement picture, which in reality is just him posing rather than Carol, because Carol is too big to fit into her old outfit. Wasn't really a lose-lose situation if his mother wasn't Carol. At the end of the day, if you have a mother that is like Carol when it comes to attractiveness, even though I doubt any of that would happen in the real world, would probably make her life simpler in scenarios like this. This isn't even creepy, considering of how better executed it all is. It's not even cringe. So truthfully, rewatching this episode made me understand Mr. Gar a little bit more, to the point that he's not the character that I remembered since watching this episode for the first time. And before you ask, yes, I'm familiar with the flashback episode, and I did talk about Let's Take a Moment 3 years ago, which I am going to include as part of my outro for this video. But I am going to talk about Glory Days and, of course, the romantic episode involving Mr. Gao and Carol. Truth be told, what Mr. Gar caused in Let's Take a Moment in the flashback can make me appreciate his character a lot more when it comes to watching other episodes. I may have to rewatch the episode to understand it a little bit more, but at the same time, Mr. Gar has become a character that feels a lot more sympathetic as I understand him in more episodes that he stars in, including the episodes where he teams up with KO. I'm giving this episode an 8 out of 10.